Florida's out here doing the Lord's work, making sure that the education system is not totally, completely overrun with radicals, but when they do manage to pop their heads up every once in a while, they just get hammered down like the worthless little nitwits that they truly are. Because guess what? This indoctrination runs fucking deep. It is a river that's gonna run regardless, and you just got to enact the dams whenever you fucking see the nonsense pop up. Florida school chief rejects math textbooks. It's in math, dudes. Oh my god. Over attempts to indoctrinate students. Yup. What, by teaching them the Socratic method? Or are they just trying to work in a fucking neo-Marxist interpretation that 2 plus 2 is whatever you feel like that day? Florida's Department of Education has rejected dozens of K-12 mathematics textbooks after officials said they include indoctrinating concepts such as critical race theory. Great. According to Florida's Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran, oh my god. The department reviewed 132 submitted textbooks and found that 54 of them, or 41%, didn't meet Florida's K-12 curriculum standards or contained prohibited topics. Like what? There's probably certain problems, like if Johnny's two dads have a swinger party over at their house, what is the volume of the fishbowl for the keys that their guests would need in order to properly house everybody that's going to attend? Or is it properly parsing out what percentage of black do you need to be in order to have the N-word pass? Reasons for rejecting the textbooks include references to critical race theory, including inclusions of Common Core and unsolicited addition of social emotional learning in mathematics. What the fuck is that? The department said in April 15th statement the highest number of books rejected were of grade levels K to 5. They're coming for your kids, in case it wasn't patently obvious. An alarming 71% were not appropriately aligned with Florida standards or included prohibited topics and unsolicited strategies. Specifically, 28 rejected textbooks incorporate prohibited topics or unsolicited strategies, including CRT. 12 didn't properly align with Florida standards, so they were just bad textbooks. And 14 were rejected for both reasons, because they were inappropriate for what was being taught. They were unequipped for teaching math. And then they were also wrought with, well, social rot. It seems that some publishers attempted to slap a coat of paint on an old house built on a foundation of Common Core and indoctrinating concepts like race essentialism, especially, bizarrely, for elementary school students. Yeah, in math. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said, "I am grateful that Commissioner Corcoran and his team at the department have conducted such a thorough vetting of these textbooks to ensure that they comply with the law. Under current Florida law, public schools are prohibited from teaching key concepts of CRT, such as one should feel guilt or shame because of his or her race, or that the United States is inherently racist." Yeah, because it doesn't serve to help anybody, especially in math. Fucking Christ. Florida parents can sue school districts that suspect of incorporating CRT concepts and recover attorneys' fees if they prevail. Yeah, it's the Don't Say Gay bill. In 2020, Florida officially removed Common Core and adopted the benchmarks for excellent student thinking best standards. All right, the state plans to fully implement the new standard after 2023, giving school districts approximately 3 years to familiarize their teachers with the new benchmarks and purchase new textbooks and other instructional materials. DeSantis called the new standard a return to the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic. I'm glad he didn't say the 3 R's. Well, you could have the 4 R's if you include the people who are authoring these textbooks. But hey, it looks like a good old Uncle Ron wasn't done there. He's in fact going after higher education, because it's apparently that's ground zero. Remember back in the day, okay, a couple months ago at this point, where it was just critical race theory is not being taught in grade school. It's just a college level a theory that's taught in some law schools. You pleb, you wouldn't know. Well, DeSantis signs bill to reform higher education. What are you going to be doing, Ron? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a higher education reform bill on April 19th to hold faculty accountable and ensure transparency with the curriculum. Under the new law, which takes effect July 1st. All right, so for the fall semester, that'll be in effect. Tenured faculty will be reviewed every 5 years by a board of governors at the State University System of Florida. That's just that's just great on the face of it, which will consider things as accomplishments, productivity, performance metrics, and compensation. Transparency and accountability is absolutely key, DeSantis says as he signed the bill in the Villages. We're going to make sure that our institutions of higher education are committed to excellence, not ideology, and we're going to be even better than we have been, and we've been pretty doggone good over the last many years. What's with the strong language, Ron? The Republican governor told the boisterous crowd that Florida's higher education institutions were ranked #1 in the United States and World Report for the last 5 years, but with these reforms, he wanted to make it even better. Senate Bill 7044 addresses 3 main issues that the DeSantis administration sees as eroding higher education: accreditation, transparency, and the core descriptions, tenure reforms, and allowing grandchildren of Florida residents in-state tuition. Okay. It's all about trying to make these institutions more in line with what the state's priorities are, and frankly, the priorities and parents throughout the state of Florida. The bill, sponsored by Republican Senator Manny Diaz, will also remove the stranglehold that faculty unions and accrediting agencies have on the universities and colleges. Yay, getting away from unions and kneecapping them. I love it. A written statement from the governor's office said it also adds common sense transparency requirements for tuition, fees, and cost of materials. Florida's higher education institutions are required to seek accreditation, but the bill requires them to seek accreditation from different accreditors in consecutive accreditation cycles. The bill reads, State Board of Education and Board of Governors will identify regional accreditors that will recognize the U.S. Department of Education that are best suited for each institution. Institutions must seek accreditation from identified regional accreditors, and they are denied by the regional accreditor that they may seek accreditation from any U.S. DOE approved accreditor that is different from the current accreditor. Accreditor, different accreditor. Prior to the legislation, accrediting agencies had a monopoly on Florida colleges, universities, and were available to hold a hand over the operations of educational institutions and remove objectivity in the process. The bill also takes on tenured professors. Sweet. Wow, that poor lady is so cross-eyed. I think that's the least of her worries. Tenure was there to protect people so that they could do their jobs that maybe would cause them to lose their job or whatever, and academic freedom. I do think that tenure does. I think that what tenure does is that it creates more of an intellectual orthodoxy, and once you're tenured, your productivity really declines. Yeah, especially your job safe. You don't have to perform up to a level. You can just waste as much time and resources as you possibly can. Sweet. And once this takes place, I'm sure a bunch of people are going to get fucking bent out of shape over this, but I don't see anything wrong with this. If you're doing a good job, you should get the accreditation that you need, okay? Because it's not just going to be from a hive mind of far right-wing accreditors, okay? You can go to the United States Department of Education and get your accreditation, but you're going to have to get reviewed in a cyclical matter, so hey, that's good. Once again, Florida leading from the front. I really do love to see it. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.